I'm so tired of seeing my people laid out up in these streets, hoping.
This video right here will be Officer Pullman's video. Pretty much he's the officer, you know what I'm saying, that's responsible with Officer Weeks. He would be at the driver side rearview mirror, and he would be the one you see walk to the back to run Tiffany Woolman's license plates. Again, pure what this actually would have you believe just from a plain through eye is he claims that 9:54 is when he arrived on the scene, which is basically putting him right by the car. Rounded off. From there, the times don't add up. Dispatch and call log, you know what I'm saying, time shows that at a certain time, officers radioed each one of our names, and it does not nowhere near compute to the time that it would be, which would be 9:54 roughly by the time they make it to the car. Well, 10:02 is the time that Officer Pullman runs the license plate number of Tiffany Woolman, which means before this approach, the 9 minutes and 49 seconds of missing footage, which will be, I'm just going to show you real quick and drag forward a little bit until about right somewhere there. So as you can see, I'm going to walk you through it, but it is 10 minutes and 24 seconds at this moment. Once it gets to 9 minutes and 49 seconds, or I think it's 9 minutes and 46 seconds, the video no longer plays. That's the 9 minutes and so missing footage that is needed to make these timestamps accurate of when these officers actually ran the names and, you know, certain things were communicated with dispatch. As you can see, that's the footage. We are at 9:50 and boom, it just freezes. And as you can see, 9:42, that's what the video does. But if I go back to it, you know, you see it still paused, but I go back to it right here, it's still playing. But there's no footage. Anyways, I'm gonna start you back at the beginning. So this will be Officer Pullman, who in his police report, which I will attach, says that he arrived around this particular time, 4 minutes after Officer Weeks, which makes the naked plain eye believe this is time frame 9:54. As you can see, he immediately goes to the back of the car and runs the license plate information. Records indicate, as you can see, has the license number. At this particular time, the time is 10:02, which means before officers got to me and mandate, the 9 minutes and 49 seconds of footage had already been cut. Adding merit to plaintiff's statement that officer came to his car, continued to demand his ID, and unholstered their gun on 2-3 occasions, pointed into the car at plaintiff, and proceeded to make BLM statements of, I hate it when you guys do that, when we got you guys cornered, put your hands down. In my defense, when someone has a gun pulled on you, the only thing, the least aggressive thing that you can do is put your hands up. As you can see, it's only been a few seconds or so, maybe a minute.
Did they call really though?
She gives Pullman her ID, which corresponds with her ID license being ran at 10:03, which is roughly a minute or two after the time he runs the license plate.
You got Tiffany's information. They didn't have.
They talked to me on the phone earlier. I was the one that called.
Yep. Tracking that.
And she sends it through dispatch, which is, it adds up. Yeah, so at this time, it is 10:03.
Literally, we've been talking in the car like
exactly
for,
3
like,
minutes
a few
from
hours
this
now.
time, Officer
You can search my car, everything.
Weeks
I got nothing, cigarettes.
would go
like,
and run
Nothing. Been sitting
plaintiff's
here. So I've been sitting
information.
here for a
Let's
few
see if
hours.
we're
Where do you
correct.
live then?
I am from Sioux Falls, but I'm in. And she did come out and look at us, and I'm like, yeah.
They was walking down here, dude. Look, they was coming down here, on the way down here by the sidewalk right there. We pulled out because I said, I think they coming over here. Because I said, I don't know if the officer said something about someone called up, but then again, they could have been looking out the window the whole entire time. If they stayed in
If they were looking out the window, they would have came out, though. They would have saw 3 people around their kids. Like, I'd hope they'd come out.
That's right.
Hello.
Well, as you can see,
Then
going
pull
back.
left, but... Were you? Looking for an adult, so I get up. Fine. And we just met today. We've been talking in the car for like 3 hours.
I gotcha. Okay. So if you're from Sioux Falls, how would you know this?
I was sitting here to meet him earlier today. Earlier today I was here sitting with him.
So I guess I'm a little ahead. I'm gonna bag it up. Somewhere in roughly 3 minutes or so, he
Talking
runs.
after we met off POF. I
Yeah,
have messages if you want to see them.
I'm just curious why you keep saying that we can search. Is there something
Because
that
you're
you're...
flashing your light around and shit. And I'm like, dude, we're not doing anything. That's what... I mean, you can think it's odd, but I'm just like, you guys can...
Okay. So if you're from Sioux Falls,
In the car, she was here earlier. You can get the report from the officers earlier. I'm like, there's no adults.
Walking down here, dude. Look, they was coming down here, on the way down here by the sidewalk right there. We pulled out because I said, I think they coming over here. Because I said, I don't know if the officer said something about someone called up, but then again, they could have been looking out the window the whole entire time. If they stayed in the
If they were looking out the window, they would have came out, though. They would have saw 3 people around their kids. Like, I'd hope they'd come out.
That's right.
Hello. Well, I'm talking to the cops right now. They thought there was suspicious activity, so they had to come check it out because he's been sitting in the car since that kid. Him?
yeah,
He's staying here.
like what?
I don't know which department. I just met him today. Like, we've been talking. We just met. Like, literally just met. You can search anything you want.
So what?
We're literally sitting here talking after we met off POF.
Roughly 3 minutes
I
or
have
so
messages if you want to see them.
after
I'm just
contact.
curious why you keep saying that we can
Officer
search. Is
Weeks
there
runs.
something that you're...
Flashing your light around
Christopher
and shit.
Jones
I'm
was
like,
his,
dude, we're not
the
doing
time
anything.
frame comes out to be 10:05.
I mean, you can think
We
it's odd,
verified
but I'm just
Tiffany
like, you
name
guys
and
came up to us
information
and
was
I'm
ran
like,
out
well,
10:02
we just
for
got a report,
contact
so we
time
just gotta
and
follow up with
10:03 for ID
It's
purpose.
irritating because I called their freaking kid in because he came up to the car and was running around with nothing.
Yeah, we actually live in the town. I live right here in this apartment. You live in this one? What's your name over there, ma'am?
Tiffany Morgan.
Tiffany, do you live in Brookings too?
No, I'm from Sioux Falls, but I'm down here and I stay at my parents' house and Nicole's house in Mulder right now. Back and forth. I'm looking for a job at the moment.
Alright, sounds good. Let me run the names here and stuff. You guys can talk about your funny case.
3 minutes and some odd seconds.
So you guys met
He
him
runs
on
Chris
Yes,
Jones.
online. And we just met today. We've been talking in the car for like 3 hours.
I'm so tired of seeing my people laid out up in these streets, hoping I can beat this system, running from the police. To survive is a hustle, we all stay with their heat.
Okay, for the point of contact, when you hear Officer Weeks say, "Hey guys," and Pullman's on video, 5 seconds after that, he's at the same position Officer Weeks is at when he says, "Hey guys," from that particular alignment to the end of "what the fuck" from the Caucasian female that's in the driver's seat, and Officer Pullman responding to Officer Weeks by saying, "Yep," when he says, continuing to talk to those guys. The time frame comes out to be exactly 9 minutes from the contact time of "Hey guys" to plaintiff being walked to the car. After that end time frame, the next one will begin when Officer Lee says, "Man all over ID." From that time frame, there's another additional 9 minutes that plays, and then there's another additional 2 minutes and some odd seconds after that plays. All of this time frame shows Officer Weeks to be in the video footage. If this is the exact time from the time that officers arrived on the scene is 10:02, then you add in the 9 minutes to that, you add in another 9 minutes to that, and you add in another 2 minutes and some odd seconds. You get 10:24, which if you look at the command log that has the documentation of everything that was going on to the clear alarms, and what a coincidence. Officer Weeks radios in to dispatch at 10:24, clear alarms. When, according to him, in his statement, at 10:19, he would be at the station.
Sioux Falls, how would you know this?
I was sitting here to meet him earlier today. Earlier today I was here sitting with him and talking to him after we met off or decided to meet. And then this kid comes around the corner. Me and Nicole were in the car. She was here earlier. You get the report from the officers earlier. Comes walking down the street. He comes up to my car. He says hi, and I'm like looking at him. He walks over there, play in the water, and I'm like, so looking for an adult. So I get out of my car, walk around the building to see if there's an adult. There's nobody. He runs back over to the playground. And I'm watching him and stuff, and I'm like, there's no adults. I'm like, what are we gonna do? So I call the sheriff's office. They give me a person to come out, and then they've said that this kid has been called in a couple times for not being watched. And then they left, and then I've been sitting here ever since. I mean, I went to the gas station and came back, but...
You know, I was one of those people. You don't even recognize me?
Were you? Well, I remember were you the first guy that came out? No. Then I don't know. I remember the first guy that was there, but then there's 2 other people that pulled up. So I've been here ever since, honestly, but because I met him today to talk to him, and then Nicole left. But
No, I'd actually been, that's the only person I actually.
and she did come out and look at us, and I'm like,
They
yeah.
was walking down here, dude. Look, they was coming down here, on the way down here by the sidewalk right there. We pulled off because I said, I think they coming over here. Because I said, I don't know if the officer said something about someone called up, but then again, they could have been looking out the window the whole entire time when he was out there. If they stayed in
If they were looking out the window, they would talk to people around their kids. Like, I'd hope.
Hold on. I gotta do something real quick.
No.
That's what.
You want to check our record?
To be honest with you, okay, since we're already past strike 1 and 2. Any drugs, anything on you?
Man, I have nothing on.
Okay, go ahead and step over to your left.
Okay, from the Hey Guys, this is just basic. I fast forwarded a little, but it's basic from the Hey Guys to the end of Officer Weeks. Like I told you, seeing keep talking to her, and he says, "Yeah," and she goes, "What the fuck?" That's the end of that line. One comes out to be 9 minutes and 3 seconds. The other one comes out to be exactly 9 minutes. The one that comes out to be exactly 9 minutes and 3 seconds, even though they both should be the same as Officer Weeks.
So you know your name, right?
Yeah, I know my name.
So you told him the wrong name.
I did deny name. You're right. I did tell him the wrong name, but at
All
the
right.
same time, by the time I realized.
So at the end of that marker, the timestamp should be 10:13.
Yep.
Here, everything has been verified from the dispatch paperwork.
Yep.
But here's the problem: at
So
10:14,
how long have you really? How long have you known this?
I just met him.
Officer Reach runs plaintiff's real name, which is Charles Ray Johnson, and that's the time that the information comes back on log. The problem with that is if 9 minutes to the time that's already on the clock, which is 10:03, comes out to be 10:12, 10:13, then 10:14 is when it release radios the information and gets a response. Well, the video doesn't show that. It shows that after the plaintiff is arrested, that 9-minute alignment marker, it takes Weeks an additional, I want to say, 3 to 5-ish minutes before he actually runs plaintiff's real name, which it doesn't fit the timeline. It would put it at around 10:18, 10:19 when Charles Ray Johnson was actually ran and parole information was turned over.
Nope. Have my phone. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay. Alright, nothing in your bra, nothing
So
like
that being said, this shows that Officer Weeks clearly is in a lie when he says at 10:13 he cleared for the station and he arrived at 10:19.
Apparently, I have, from what I don't even know the guy. That's the problem.
But it plays all the way through. Basically, he's going through the purse, of her vehicle, and 10:14, what I'm saying, which you want to do a real video, just send me an email or something, I'll send it to you. I'm just trying to just show the main highlights here. Is he goes to the car and stuff like that, and Officer Weiss in the meantime is supposed to be running Charles Johnson information. As you can see, minutes after that, Officer Weiss is on the scene and he's walking around the car. And here is where the video plays. And it literally stops at 10:46, I want to say. So I just have a question. Are you in agreement that 10 minutes of footage has been cut out to conceal a constitutional violation of unholstering a firearm on someone for standing up on their constitutional right on several occasions and mentioning several racial themes in regards to the Black Lives Matter movement? But we'll never know the truth because, as we see, 10 minutes of footage is cut. And as you can see with the timestamp that's on the report information, that 10 minutes of footage is needed. The question is what happened within the 10 minutes.
I'm so tired of seeing my people laid out up in these streets, hoping I can beat this system, running from the police. To survive is a hustle, we all stay with their heat. They ask why we all thugging, hustling hard in these streets. My reply is simple, man, I know family gotta eat, and I won't let them starve. Oh no, not me. And I won't let them starve. Oh no, not me. Not me. I'm on my grind every day. Know my family gotta eat. As long as food up on the table, I'm screaming, fuck the police. I face the consequences that I face and stand up like a man. Cause being broke up on this earth, I know it was not God's plan. So gon' toss me in and pit. And once I quit, I come out. I'm from the city where we live the struggle. Man, I'm from the south.